Hi guys, welcome back. Sorry about the delay. I could not recover the file that I shot for this one originally, so I'm reshooting a new one now, and hopefully I'm able to organize this into a better order for you. So this is part 2 of me weighing my bike, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about the components, group set, and as well as the frame itself. If you haven't seen part 1 on my Lightspeed Cherahella, feel free to watch it here. I'll link that video here somewhere. My neighbor is outside playing. If you hear kids screaming and water splashing and everything, that's them. It's a nice day today, so everybody is out. All right, so this is my biggest boy at the moment. This is Lynskey Pro 29, and he's gotten quite a few upgrades. What I'll do is I'll split this into 2 categories. I'll go over the stock components and group set that are still on left on this bike originally, and then I'll talk briefly about all the upgrades if I can remember all of them. All right, let's get started. For tires, I have Kenda Reckless Pro SCT 29 by 2.4. He came in with the same tires, but I replaced the rear tire to Maxxis Aggressor 29 by 2.5 a few months ago because it started to slip on me on some of these punchy climbs. Rims are WTB I-29 internal width 29 millimeters with tubeless setup at the moment and will always be. Hubs are by Industry 9101 with 90 points of engagement in the rear. We'll do a little sound test toward the end of the video for you guys as well. In terms of the group set, he came in with full Shimano XT 12-speed M8100, that's the model, something like that. Shifter, brakes, brake calipers, derailleur, chain, except the crankset. So when I ordered the bike, the XT crankset was not available, and Lynskey said they would give me something better. I don't know exactly the story about this crankset, but the model is MT900-1. For the people who are curious about it, this is something I've read. So more than a year ago, one of the Shimano factories burned down, and the fire took some of the machines that either, I don't know exactly, produced or 3D printed the XT or crankset with it. So in order to keep the production going, I guess they came up with something that is a step above the XT and almost comparable to the XTR in terms of the weight and performance. And that's how they came up with this crankset. That's all I know, so I'll leave it here. Let me know, I'm curious if that's legit. And the rotors are 180 up front and 160 in the rear. All right, moving on to the saddle. This is Repente Quasa pressure relief, something like that. The first thing that I'd change on any bikes would be the saddle. However, I'm surprised how comfortable this saddle is, and that is why he's still here. So good job on that, Repente. Fork is by Cane Creek Helm Mark II, traveling at 120 millimeters at the moment. This bike takes either 130 or 120, by the way. I'm gonna try to make a dedicated video about this fork later when I have time, if I have time. Really nice fork. I think these are all the stock parts that I have left on here. So from now, everything that I'm mentioning are all the things that I've upgraded. Let's start from the cockpit. Handlebars are from Raceface Next R, 35 millimeters in diameter, and these are 760 millimeters, 20 millimeters rise, 8 degrees back, 5 degrees up in terms of sweep. A lot of stuff going on here. I'm pretty sure I got it right. If not, I'll include the detail on the screen. Stem is also by Raceface Atlas, 50 millimeters in reach and 35 millimeters in clamp diameter. In terms of the seat post, I am running Fox Transfer Dropper Post, 125 millimeters in travel. I wish I could go a little bit longer, but it stops here, so I'm just left with this thing hanging out here. Anyway, dropper lever is by Wolftooth Light Action Remote or Oversized Action Remote, something like that. And grips are by Ergon GA3. All right, let's bring you back downstairs and look at one and hopefully last upgrade that I've made. So I replaced the XT derailleur to this SRAM GX Access wireless derailleur. It gets rid of one cable, makes the bike look a little cleaner. I posted the installation video or upgrade video on this SRAM GX Access a while back, and I'll link that video here as well if you are interested. I still haven't done the review on it yet, but I just want to confirm something really quick since I'm here. If you are wondering about the compatibility in terms of mixing SRAM derailleur with Shimano group, they work. I have no issues whatsoever after I install it. But just make sure that you have a 12-speed group, and that can be either SLX, XT, or XTR. All right, I have two more things to talk about before we move on to the frame. They're just add-on. Pedals are by XT. This is M8140. These are just flat pedals, and they're pretty heavy and pretty grippy at the same time. And I also added a titanium water bottle cage by Silka. I have all of these cages on all my bikes. They are great. All right, let's go over the frame. This is Lynskey again, Lynskey Pro 29, one of the few upgrades I made. The first and obvious one would be the etched graphics, whereas the standard graphics are black decals. This is in industrial mill finish. As for the logo, I went with the matching titanium head badge. There is a good combination of different tubes on this bike, so I want to talk a little bit about them, especially the Helix tube, since I don't know, some people probably don't get to see the twisted tube every day. So seat tube is a pretty standard rounded tube, 3.25 titanium grade. Thicker and heavier tube, therefore in general they are more forgiving on the road vibration compared to the 6.4 aerospace grade, which has a better weight to string ratio. And that is this top diamond shaped tube here. This is all about stiffness, speed, saving watts, but at the same time it is less compliant, meaning less flex, so not very comfort if you compared to the 3.25 tubing. Now, what is the deal with this Helix tube? So between the rounded 3.5 tube and the 6.4 diamond shaped tube, they came up with something in between, which is again this Helix tube here. So they still use the 3.25 to twist this tube. On paper it says that it resists the vertical flex, therefore it is a little stiffer than the round shaped ones. I don't notice anything, although I'm sure the benefit is here. Lynskey has been twisting tubes for a while now, so something has to work out right for them to continue to twist their tubes. All right, I'll stop here. If you have any questions, hit me up. Hopefully I don't overwhelm you with too much information. Let's put him on the scale and see what number comes up. All right guys, I know he's heavy, but I didn't think he's gonna be this heavy. So 28 pounds, 3 ounces, 12.68 kilograms. I weigh him like 4 times just to make sure the scale is right. And he's not touching the ground either. Okay, so there it is. And let's go weigh that bike next.